It's Dr. Manny from Break the Cage MD. This one's a fun one. One of the main concepts that comes up over and over again is how to put information in so that you remember it later after studying, like a long time after studying. This also, you get a twofer here. If you do this the right way, you also are able to communicate medical concepts more easily, more fluently, so that they remember it later to patients. Um, the answer is metaphor. You come up with silly, stupid stories that you can actually remember. Uh, it the thing about it is, it's a cultural thing. As doctors, we are very concrete thinkers because we've had to memorize a crap ton of low level metaphors. We don't realize they're metaphors, but all the conceptual stuff you learned is on some level a bunch of Latin that they use to represent something, like all the molecules and everything. That's also metaphor. But those are jargon laden metaphors. What you want to be able to do is to convert, especially as you specialize in your field and you start learning these micro things, you want to convert the concepts into something that people can process, something silly. Um, Dr. Oz does it a lot and he gets slack for it because we've been browbeaten into this precision mindset. And it doesn't matter how precise you are, how detailed you are, how on point you are, when the person is just kind of spacing out because it doesn't make sense to them. What you want to do is come up with a version of the simplest version of the ideas. And like Einstein did with his whole two people traveling in time at the speed of light away from each other with clocks. You reduce the concept to the skeletal minimal elements, and then you see how you can transfer that concept across domains. So when you're writing a medical article for lay people, people be like, well, it's pop science, it's whatever. The goal is to get as many people able to function with the information as possible. And the only way to do that is to make it memorable, to make it simple, to make it so that it hooks into something they're familiar with, some joke they've heard, some song they heard, something that already exists in your mind. Okay? Because remember, the burnout cycle, the first part is recognize, then represent, then react. People won't react. They never get to that emotional aspect until they recognize the thing. If you don't recognize it, it's subliminal. It goes right in. It goes in as an introject. You're either browbeating them with it and they do it out of compliance. Their attention never hones in on it. All right? So, metaphor, break the cage MD. Oh, one last thing. When you hear a story with a theme, inside that story, the values are the metaphor. I mean, not the metaphor. The values are the core, the crux of it. So the story is another metaphor. The mythos is telling you something. There's an architecture in there. All right, and your brain recognizes that. Break the cage, MD.